all right, y'all. You know what time it is. It is 7 o'clock on a win. I'm sorry. I don't even know what time it is. On a Tuesday. It's Brian Forbes, y'all. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is Inside Steppin'. And shit, before we get started good, I'm going to just tell y'all right off the top, this will be, I'm going to say it again later on in the show, but just so you know, this will be the last installment of live Inside Stepping for the year, because we are getting ready to go through a retooling, if you will. We're going to revamp the show and make some changes and do some things a little different to make the video, the visual experience a little bit better for everybody in the coming future. You know, that's what's happening. You know, it's all about trying to improve and expand upon the way we do things here. And, you know, just make it fly. You know what I'm saying, y'all? That's what we want to do. So with that, we got a real interesting show today. Just for the record, I got some things that I'm going to get into. We're going to talk about a few things that went on for the year. We're going to talk about how we've all managed to navigate our way through this entire, I don't want to use that word. I was told by my producers not to keep using that word, but you know, we're not going to use that word. But, you know, we want to talk about how we were all able to navigate through this thing and kind of find the fun in the sort of tragedy of it all. In that we've been, you know, kind of limited about the way we move around and the way things get done. And, you know, it's been hit or miss, and it's been a challenge. And it all, I think, really the way we all deal with this depends on how we all feel about our own respective and prospective places that we are and who we hang around and where we dance. So, you know, I've seen a lot of people out and about and doing the thing. And you have those who refuse to come out. And that's all, whatever your decision is, it's all respectable. I respect it, and everybody else should too. So, ladies and gentlemen, right quick, we're going to get this show started. So, y'all hold tight, and here we go. All right. So, look at here, y'all. Ladies and gentlemen. We are tonight going to have some special guests on that I'm always excited. I'm always excited to have these brothers on my show because it's always a good time, and they always have some of what I would like to refer to as some of the most positive people in the game, man. You know, to me, that is an extremely important attribute to have as it pertains to stepping, because we deal with so much negativity in our daily lives just being around the stepping game, that when we go out to dance, the last thing we want to do is be bothered with the politics and the nonsense. And unfortunately, we still end up having to deal with these things. That's the funny thing about it. You know, egos have a way of playing an extremely large part in this dance and the way people get, you know, do this thing. And you know, sometimes the fun gets lost in it. But I hope that we're all able to learn something from one another on a daily basis. And we're going to get into some of that stuff too a little bit later on, because I have some very important messages that I want to get out today, some things that I need to say for clarity and for the sake of us all coming to some sorts of happy mediums where we are all concerned in regard to our coexistence within the dance. So, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, with no further ado, let me introduce to you my two guests for the evening, and you know them as them Texas boys. I got Tommy and Devin, respectively, Smith. Gentlemen, how are you this evening?
Oh, I'm doing good, Brian. How about yourself, man?
Man,
Doing good, brother.
you know how we do down here in Texas with this 70-degree weather. You know, the rest of these folks mad at us, but they be all right. Y'all know how we roll. You know what I'm saying? We got that good Texas heat. You dig?
Show you
Texas
Oh
heat.
yeah.
right. Show you right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, fellas, y'all got an event coming up.
Yes, sir. We are so excited. It's our first annual Texas Boys Steppers Holiday Weekend going down December 11th and the 12th, which is a 2-day spectacular holiday extravaganza,
Okay.
Saturday and Sunday. it's gonna be off the chain, and we
Man, look, I might
cannot
have to,
wait.
I might have to slide up that highway, man, and get at y'all. You know what I'm talking about? Look,
Come on through, man. Come on.
I let me check with my producers and all my folks around here, because I don't. I seem like they had a schedule to go somewhere, but you never can tell. So, yeah, that might be a thing right there. I might need to just do that, man. That sounds like a winner. Let me see. I have y'all's flyer here. Let's see. It is there we go. First annual Texas Boys Step a Holiday Weekend in Dallas, Texas, ladies and gentlemen, December 11th and 12th, 2021. Is that we got Myron on the ones and twos. We got the R in the building. Yeah. And
Oh
it's
yeah,
gonna be held
EJ
at
Group too.
the same location where you do Black and Bling, right?
Right,
Yes,
right, right. Same place.
Okay.
yes, sir.
Man, that look like a winner right there. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all need to see about showing up and showing out here in Texas in the mid-year thing, doing the thing with the Texas boys. Um, this will be the first one you're doing like this, huh?
Yes, Brian. It actually be our first annual holiday party with them Texas boys.
Okay.
Me and Devin, we real excited about this one, man. And,
Okay,
I,
okay. That sounds like a winner right there, man. Shit. I'm looking forward to it. I might have to, like I said, I'm gonna have to slide on up y'all's way, man. Um, so we always talk about y'all's promotion and the things that you do. Give everybody some idea, man, of what it's like to be able to enjoy the sort of success that y'all have in doing this on a regular. And I'm saying this only because we watch a lot of people try to do things around this community, and I think that we miss something gets lost in translation when people are not able to communicate with each other to be able to reach the levels that need to be reached in order to give an event that is that comes off like y'all's does. And I'm not saying everybody can do what you do. What I'm saying is that I think that a lot of people could take a lot of lessons from other individuals the same way they take lessons to learn the steps. I think people could learn a lot in the way of promotion through relationship. Correct me if I'm wrong.
yeah.
No, absolutely. Relationships, building relationships, as a promoter is extremely important. But the thing about it that's most important is that Tommy and I are just natural people oriented type of individuals.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's something as a promoter that you have to, that's just a personality trait that's a must have. If you're not people friendly, you're not naturally have a nice disposition, nice attitude, kind towards others,
Right.
like to see people have a good time. Promoting, you can do it, but
I'm actually, I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm actually glad you said that part about being personable. I think it's interesting. And I think that it just made me think about this. I bet you that it is a challenge because there are people who are not people persons who don't are not good with people, yet they would make an attempt to do an event or give a party or something, and they just don't have that je ne sais quoi that some people have when it comes to interacting with others. And I think that those people probably struggle. I mean, that's got to be a challenge to be a jerk and try to give an event. I'm just saying that just popped into my head.
yeah, being a jerk is probably not a characteristic you want to have in your repertoire
Yeah.
to be a promoter. Because promoting events are already extremely uh, challenging.
Hmm.
They take a lot of it takes a lot of your time, your energy, your personal investment, time away from family and stuff like that. So
Hmm.
you have to really be driven to do this or be in this field. And it's just like like I said before, just being a natural people person. is very high on that list, and that's why I was able to partner up with Tommy. That was, it wasn't a hard thing to do, because I seen for years. I just sat back as a party goer
Mm-hmm.
and just saw how he gave his events, and the time, the effort, the energy that he put into giving successful parties. And so when we got together, I already knew kind of, I already had a pretty good idea of what his thought process was and what his mentality was, and that made it a lot easier to build a partnership with him and move forward in being a promoter.
So let me ask you this, and this just popped into my head. Now I'm curious about something. What would you say, hour wise? How many hours do you think it takes to plan a proper event? If you had to sit down and somebody had to pay you per hour, literally, to plan an event and pull it off, what kind of time you think would be involved in that? I know that's off the top of the head. Got to do some math, need to do some scribbling and scratching. But what do you think that goes into
Go ahead, Tommy.
that?
Well, well, Brian, I can speak on Black and Bling, cause our event is a little different,
Right.
being definitely hands on. Like I said, we got the planned. I mean, this hour, it's really a year round thing, cause it's an event center. Everything has to be done. Talking to the people about what decorations you want, the bar, what you want on the bar, especially with Black and Bling. When you got 3 bars, it becomes challenging, because you don't want to set up no room different from the other. If I
Right.
got Hennessy and Cavassier or whatever in this room, I want all 3 rooms to be the same.
Right. Right.
You got to have speakers in each room. You got to have Black and Bling is challenging, because we does everything ourselves.
Right.
We
Oh,
got
I'm sure that's more than just a notion.
Well, let me jump in. We don't do everything ourselves. We have a very strong team and committee of people around us that assist us with the event, that we couldn't pull it off without them. So, but I think what Tommy's saying, as far as doing it ourselves, as far as every minor detail that goes into it, that we want to make sure happens so everyone has the best time possible, we're totally hands-on 100%.
Yep. Black and Bling is a year-round planning, Brian. We after Black and Bling is over with, me and Devin on the phone talking about the following. It's year-round, really no days off.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, and that's but see, like, okay, y'all done skated all the way around the question. If you had to total up the amount of hours, I know it sounds crazy, I know, but what would you say, hour-wise, if you had to bill somebody for an hourly for what you had to do to plan this event, where would you be?
Tommy?
Brian, hour-wise,
Yeah,
in 12 months,
yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna put it like this. Me and Devin talk 5, 6, 7 hours a day for
Right.
a whole year planning Black and Bling. So I don't know what that'll come up to, but it's every day. So I really can't, hour-wise, I'd be scared to say what that is. It'll be scary.
Oh, I'm sure it's way up there, but that's just something that just popped into my head. I figured, in case you might know.
I never thought about how many hours, we put into it, but it's a lot.
Well, it don't hurt to have that sort of information in your head, just for numbers sake. You get an idea, you start breaking down, and you start thinking, okay, so how much time do we have in this versus profit and loss, that kind of thing. It's just a bit on the business tip, because let's face it, there are a lot of people in the steppers community who are good dancers, who are great dancers, but they would not make great promoters, and they're not necessarily good business people. And that's one of the things I think that a lot of people don't realize when they start seeing things sort of, like Black and Bling or you all's new annual Christmas party. And I think what happens is, like many other areas in the Steppers world, in the Steppers community, people see something and they think they can build a better mousetrap. And of course, there's nothing wrong with trying that because everybody should try it, but they should also understand where their strong points and their weak points are and delegate authority accordingly. However, sometimes people make things look easy and other people think, oh, I can do that. And then they jump out there and they find out that it's not what they thought it was because it's way harder than they anticipated based on all the things they didn't think about that say, you learn the hard way the first time out or whatever the case may be. Or not, or didn't have the right people on your team, right people mentoring you and whatever the case may be. So that was why what made me think that, because I'm sure there are lots of people planning big events coming up. Speaking of which, out here in Pensacola, Florida, I'm gonna throw this thing up right quick. If let's see, I got it. Do I have it? No, I don't have it. I don't have their flyer. In Pensacola, Florida, they're gonna be doing a new. It's the first annual Steppin by the Bay, given by Clifford and Earlene, and that's coming up in, I believe it's, let's see, June 24th of 2022. They're doing a meet and greet on the 24th. The main event is on the 25th. It looks like it's going to be a pretty good event. I had the great fortune to meet Earlene this weekend. She actually was here in San Antonio, and I told her that we will probably do our part to try and make it to Pensacola this year for their event. I think it's going to be good. There's a lot of new people coming into the game, and I guess I'm excited about it because I always say that the Steppers community is extremely fluid. It's amazing how how fast new alliances are created and old ones broken apart, in the Steppers world. But I guess that's the way things happen anywhere, right? It don't necessarily have to apply to Steppin, right?
Right.
So go ahead, you guys, and give your promotion on your event. Tell the world what's happening. Let us all know so we can get that out. And then I want to keep you guys on if you don't mind. Y'all cool with sticking around?
Oh yeah, man.
Okay. Because we're going to get into some other discussions right quick. And, of course, I like to have input from everybody. So you guys hang around and kick it with me. But go ahead and plug your event one more time. I'm going to throw this flyer back up here. Go ahead.
Okay. Once again, it's the first annual Texas Boys Steppers Holiday Weekend, hosted by them Texas Boys December 11th and the 12th. That's this weekend. It's a 2-day holiday extravaganza, Saturday and Sunday. The host hotel is actually sold out, but if you're still looking for lodging, all you have to do is Google hotels. There are a number of hotels that surround the venue. So all you have to do is Google hotels in that area, which would be the zip code 75062 or the Irving Mall, because the venue is actually inside Irving Mall. It's the Las Lomas Irving Banquet Halls Event Center, same place that we have the annual Black and Bling weekend. We still have a few pit passes available, but you want to definitely get them and definitely save at the door. The tickets are $70 for both days, and we have DJ Myron the R DJing on Saturday night. The event is from 8 to 2. Step is sharp. We're going to have free food by TRPT Meal Prep, Amanda Moore. She's going to be doing the catering. She's excellent, and you're going to enjoy her food. Also, we got Top Chef Open Bar that night. It's going to be off the chain. Pete Frazier is going to be the MC, the same, the MC that we have for Black and Bling Chicago. Mr. World Largest himself will be in the building. So that's Saturday night, and then Sunday we come back with a day party from 2 to 7, and that will be musical host DJ Vic will be on the ones and twos. That set is casual, so you can just be cool, casual on the day party on Sunday back at the Urban Banquet Halls Also, too, just to throw a little plug for Drew the Phenom is going to have a workshop that Saturday afternoon at 2155 Ballroom Events in Carrollton. I believe that is, I want to say two. It's sometime in the afternoon. I believe I want to say it's at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock. I'm not sure. Check Drew's page for the specifics of his workshop. He's doing, I believe it's like a 3 hour, 2 or 3 hour boot camp, real extensive. So that's going to be Saturday afternoon before our event to get underway, and that's basically it. It's going to be a very festive holiday atmosphere. We've got about 11 or 12 birthday parties. A lot of folks coming in from out of town: Chicago, Houston, Atlanta, Nashville. California is just going to be off the chain. So we're really excited about it. And hey, you still got time. You want to come join us? Come join us and bring in the holiday season within Texas for us.
Okay, I just got the head nod from my producer. I think we'll be there. Yeah, man,
Thanks,
that sounds like a barn burner right there.
Thanks, Poppy.
Oh, and according to you hear in the back, she said you're welcome. And according to her, there's a lot of people celebrating their birthdays as well. And speaking of which, to take a turn in the opposite direction, before we go further, I want to take this time and recognize and acknowledge a loss to the Steppers community, the Steppers world. It's hard when we have to do these things, but every year we end up having someone that's dear to us leave us on the wood, if you will. And I want to send my condolences out to the entire Steppin community and Steppin world on behalf of Brian Archibald, who unfortunately has transitioned in the last couple of days due to unnecessary and senseless violence. And because of that, we have lost what was sure to be a shining star in the Steppers community. Now, for those of you who do not know Brian Archibald, that's probably because Brian was new to the Steppers world. He was familiar with Steppin, of course, because he's a Chicago native, but was new to the Steppers world and was eager and hungry for the dance, like the kind of eager and hungry we like to see when men come into this dance and they want to get this dance, they want to learn this dance, and they want to be a part of this culture and this community. And he was one of those. And for those of you who are not, who want to be even further refreshed about this gentleman, who may not know across the country, because of course Chicago family knows who Brian was, but across the country, for those of you who may not be familiar, if you checked out this year's World's Largest, he was a contestant. In fact, the first contestant to take the stage during the World's Largest this year. And in fact, at the time of his entry into the dance on that day, he had only been dancing for 7 months. So let me show you all a clip of Brian's dance on that day. ladies and gentlemen, may that brother Brian Archibald rest in heaven. That is a huge loss for the Steppers community, y'all. Moving forward, it just it pains me, man, when we see these things, and we deal with it, and that's, this is reminiscent for me in that in Chicago, and this is one of the things that I've talked about on many occasions, where the Steppin community is concerned, because coming up in the city, the dance itself was never the primary reason for anything that we ever did. It was a byproduct of the lifestyle, and it has now it's got a lifeblood of its own now. But unfortunately, things like this are not new to the Steppin world, and a lot of people around the country who I think kind of put this dance in the vein of, ballroom and, salsa, waltz, and all that kind of stuff, don't really. And to be honest with you, it would be better if we didn't have to deal with these types of things in the dance community. But unfortunately, there is an element in this dance that has always been there, and will probably always be there. Maybe it'll grow out, maybe it won't. But I hate to see these things affect us all as a part of this culture and community. So with that, again, may that brother Brian Archibald rest in heaven, and hopefully justice will be served in regard to his demise. So, with that said, today I watched my man Tony Adway do his live, and he in fact mentioned to you guys and said that he wished you all had been able to make it to his event on yesterday, and you were not, because you had something else going on, which is respectable. We understand that, because I also did, and I think I'm a little perturbed that I didn't make it myself. So, did y'all get a chance to check that out today?
No, I haven't seen it yet, Brian.
Okay.
You're talking about the celebration, right?
Yeah, the celebration they did last night. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I seen that. Okay, I thought he did it just live himself.
Look, quiet as it's kept. That was my idea, but I ain't gonna say nothing. No, I had, last month, man, I had reached out to some people to see if we could put something together, and this thing, and it went together so fast. But I kind of had to bow out of it. I'm too far away to logistically do anything, and we couldn't get a timing together, no scheduling or nothing like that. So I kind of felt a little like my hands were tied, trying to find a place and everything else. And so Eric Gordon picked up the ball, man, and ran with it. And he was able, and he's got his own tragedies going on right now. Unfortunately, he's just lost his son last week, and now I understand his mom is sick, and it's been a rough. And this is one of the things that this is where I'm going to end up with this show before it's all said and done. There's a reason why I'm bringing all these things up. For the record, I think I heard Tony say today that they're going to be doing something else, another event on his behalf on the 16th. So I believe that I'm going to make it my business to be in the city on that day for that. Because I really feel bad that I missed out yesterday. I ain't going to lie. Yesterday, I was in the city over the weekend, and I was going to stay. And I had another event going on here that I had to get back for, and then I was going to fly right back out. But it was just like logistically impossible. So I was like, okay, this is not working. But I'm definitely going to be there, I think, for this next event. So
December, January, Brian.
This December? I think it's this month. Yeah, I think it's here December. So I'm gonna try to make it my business. Wait a minute. Yeah, I'm gonna try to make it my business to get it. Y'all have to forgive me, man. I have to live my life one day at a time, because I don't know what's happening next. It's always something coming up. But of course, he spoke very highly of y'all, man. The way y'all have embraced him and been able to help him enjoy, his time in the community, and just, hanging out and kicking it and moving around and doing what Tony does, man. Mr. Entertainment, Mr. Social Media, you know what I mean?
Right, right,
It's a hell of an
right.
addition to y'all's thing, man. I think it was great bringing him in. You know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's our guy. That's we joke around all the time, and we all made up a little name uh, for him, myself, and Tommy. We call ourselves Light Skin Entertainment. And,
Right, right, right. I've heard that. I've heard that before. That's funny.
everybody knows Tony, man. He has just an infectious personality. Personally, I feel like he missed his calling. I feel like he should be on the
Man,
road doing stand up because he's just naturally funny.
yeah, he is.
So my thing is, if you got a guy that's just naturally funny, you give him some material. He
Hmm.
actually has a jokes and stuff lined up,
Right.
ready to roll. Oh man, he'll kill it.
But that goes back to what y'all talked about earlier. You know, when we talk about personality. You know, some people got it, man. Some people just don't. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
So.
Tommy got it, and we just really gravitated towards each other once we met him and we got to know each other, and then with Black and Bling, that was just a kind of a natural evolution. And he's basically family to us. Black and
Right.
Bling, family, and he's a part of Black and Bling. As far as we're concerned, and we love him.
So let me ask y'all a question. Another something popped into my head. What would be your what would be your take on, let's say, the last, let's use the last, say, 3 to 5 years. How do you feel? Do you think that the community, the Steppers community, has become more cohesive over the last few years or less?
Okay, now when you say cohesive, what do you
I
mean?
mean, do you think that people have become closer, maybe more respectful of one another, um, more embracing one another better, or what do you think? Tell the
Well,
truth now. Don't tell the truth now. Don't sugarcoat it for us.
I think I think I mean, from what I've observed the last few years, to be honest with you,
Hmm.
Brian, I think it's been pretty much the same because
Okay.
at the end of the day, uh, people are going to have their differences. They're going to have things that they align on, but the
Hmm.
dance always seems to be the common denominator.
Hmm.
And so, people are going to continue to party. People are going to continue to go to stepping sets, go out of town, travel, and do what they do.
Right.
Now, all of the
But
stuff
we
Oh, I'm
gotta
sure. I'm
that
sure.
happens in between, I think those elements are always going to be there, good, bad, or indifferent.
Okay. What about you, Tommy? What do you think?
I agree with Devin, Brian. I think
Don't be trying to be politically correct cause your boy on there.
well, you know, I think it's kind of the same, man. It's kind of like Devin said, man. People gonna have their opinion end of the day, man, and it's just when you dealing with a lot of different people, different backgrounds, problems. It just I think
Yeah, I know. That's the downside of the dance. Well, the reason I ask y'all this question is because of this. In the current state of affairs around the Steppers community, and I'm talking about with the death of Brian Archibald the last couple of days, with the situation with Tony Adway, with all of the things that we deal with, I want to take this time to encourage more of us to become more cohesive, to become more understanding of one another, to become more, to exercise a better ability to coexist in this dance. I'm feeling some kind of way right now, y'all. I really am. And maybe it's one of those bipolar moments or something I'm having. I don't know, but you know, you know, y'all know, because some days, man, some people think I'm angry. Some people think I'm crazy. Some people think I'm a great guy. Everybody, you just don't never know sometimes what you're gonna get. Well, yes, you do. I'm gonna be straight with you no matter what. But I think that there needs to be, more people need to, and it goes. I always talk about it being inside the dance, but all of this stuff still goes outside the dance.
It
How
really
much better
does.
could we be as individuals if we really did take the time to actually listen to people and actually think about people and care about the people around us? I'm happy about what I saw on the video yesterday at Tony's event. You had a lot of people in the room who were able to, show emotion and be able to love on Tony and love on one another in respect to everything that's going on. And I just wish we could see more of that in the community, just without uh, uh, crazy circumstances being the reason for it.
I'm gonna ask you a question. Why we don't see more of that? What would be your take on it?
Well, I think the human condition is one that has many challenges. I think that because we all live in our own environments outside of the dance that are all very different, our experiences and our exposures are always different, even though sometimes they're overlapping. And oftentimes there are people, and I just use this as an example because this is something that I've been experiencing a lot lately myself. There are a lot of people around this dance who are starving for attention. I mean, just starving for it. And they do things and they say things that are harmful, sometimes hateful, destructive, divisive, and it affects other people in ways that I don't think they know about nor do they care about because they're more interested in their self-serving than they are of serving others. And so that being a human trait of some individuals, it carries over into the dance. And I think it also, like what I said earlier about the things that we do or what we did back in the day, the dance was a secondary part of a culture that we all lived in. I think that the dance is still a secondary part of a culture that we live in. And as time goes on and we're becoming less sensitive toward one another, especially in light of all the politics and the nonsense that we deal with, I think it keeps us from caring. And I'll be honest with you, I've had enough people kick sand in my face to where, I get to the point where I'm like, see that yard over there? That is a yard of F's. And I have none in there. So I have none to give. So when you start thinking I ain't got no fucks to give, you dig? I get, you know, um, discouraged. And as much as I try to bring information and knowledge about the dance and the people in the dance to the public, for those who don't get a chance to move around and don't get a chance to see everybody and, be a part of everything, it gets discouraging even for me because of the things I see and hear, and I'm by far not an idiot. So when I see certain stuff, even though you might think I'm listening to you at face value, I know what you're really saying. It don't take me an hour and a half to watch 60 Minutes, you dig? So I have to
Right.
pay it. When I'm listening to these things and I'm watching these people, I realize that there's trouble brewing. There's trouble in the making, and it's more of a human condition than anything. And I just wish people could be more introspective. I wish people could take more time out and think about the things that they say and do where other people are concerned, so that everybody can again coexist in this dance and be happy with one another. I mean, because this dance is infectious. Think about it, man. How many times have you gone to a set and you might have been in a bad mood or something went wrong or something happened, and you get into the dance and all of those things that were bothering you when you walk through the door wash away for a couple of hours. That's a hell
Oh
of a
yeah.
thing, man. That's a hell of a drug.
Yeah, I just think, Brian, I don't know about that, man. I'm with you. I wish it could be better, but I think that's just like your show, Inside
Hmm.
Step. You got all these graphics, all this. In my opinion, I'm just put it out there. For I think you have the best show. You got all that, but I
Thank you.
just think the same people that's in the same market you in. It's like whether it's your show, giving parties, promoters, dance instructors. I just when that currency get involved, that money get involved,
Man, the magic word. Money. It's all, man. It kills.
When
It
they get
literally kills the
involved,
game,
Boom.
cause with attention, I
man.
mean, I mean, people win the world large, they get attention. So once they win the world largest, whatever money follows, it just when that
Them
currency get
inflated egos.
involved, it brings in a lot.
But the crazy part is a lot of these people don't even let other people be the ones that boost their egos. They boost their own damn ego. That's the part
Yeah,
that trips me out. And like I
yeah,
always say, if you as cold as you say you are, let everybody else talk about you. Don't talk about yourself.
yeah, yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
And you said a mouthful. That's why you never hear me even brag about Black and Bling, cause it's my event. I can brag about it all day long, but it means a lot when other people talk
Yeah,
about it.
absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
where it really counts.
That's right.
People that want to come to your event, that's just me.
That's what they
I
say,
like
where the
to
rubber meet the road.
talk it up.
That's absolutely true. So I got a question that just came in, and the question is, when did you? And I'm gonna let you guys answer this individually. When did you first see Steppin? Devin, you can take it first.
When did I first see it?
Yeah, when did you first like got bit by that bug?
I would say like about 2000 and about nine, somewhere in there.
Okay.
2009 is when I started really, kind of checking it out and was like, oh, okay, this is pretty cool.
Okay.
I
What
kind
about
of
you,
I really
Tommy?
like it.
What about you, Tommy?
I think Devin was stepping before I was. I think mine was probably mine was 2010
Hmm.
when Devin took me to Detroit for the first time.
Okay.
And
So
once I
y'all
went to
hooked up.
Detroit,
Y'all hooked up just when y'all was just dancing together and not even thinking about doing these big events, huh?
oh no, when this Black and Bling was
Now, actually, what happened was Black and Bling was evolved based on me coming to him after we were doing monthly sets for
Oh,
about a
okay.
year or
Okay. So
so.
y'all already had a thing going on.
We already right. That started in 2013.
Okay.
We first started doing our first monthly set. He came to me with the monthly set because he already had a spot.
Hmm.
He was doing parties in his own place. He came to me because he already knew um, I had already started my stepping journey,
Okay.
and he came to me with the idea of having a stepper set at his facility
Hmm.
and assisting him with promoting it.
Okay. That's what's happening. So, um, y'all, man, y'all. I mean, y'all have done a phenomenal job thus far. I'm, uh, I'm not worthy. Y'all, y'all get all the props, man. You know what I'm saying? Um, so let me see. What events did we have this year? This year was, and I'm thinking about big events, even though everybody had their other stuff.
uh,
Uh,
the white party,
the white party, yeah. Now the white party was off the chain. I
world
had a
largest,
great time there. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
world
You talking
largest
about
Black and Bling.
just throughout the whole year.
Well, I
Let's
think
see
that was that
who
it.
actually went through. Who didn't cancel out in 2021.
I think Havana
Yes.
had Havana night. They
hmm
had a
Yeah,
party this year.
you have the world lords, of course,
hmm
the world
Yeah.
lords, and
And then of course y'all's event. Man, look,
yeah, yeah,
it's
Black
it,
and
it's
Green.
been actually a pretty good year, man. I'm actually impressed that as much got done as it did. I want to shift gears right quick. Tony Anthony just jumped in here. My man Brick, Chef Tony, and he makes a very good point, and it's something that I want to address because it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. He says Steppin helped bring a lot of us together, and it created a lot of love amongst different people from everywhere. Just because you don't agree with a person, nor don't like what another person don't like what another person does, doesn't mean we shouldn't still have love for that person. It's a lot of people that don't like him because he speaks the truth. Chicago Steppin, and because they don't know the history. But I still have love for those people, and I understand that they don't know. Now, Tony, I absolutely agree with you 100%. And the funny thing is, Tony, I know you just made a statement, some statements recently to ruffle some feathers, but I can't help but to agree with you. And in fact, I saw where Josiah Burt did a short video in rebuttal to what you said, which basically reiterated what you said. He just tried to clean it up for you a little bit because we know you don't tend to be politically correct, Mr. Tony. So um, I agree. And Tony made some statements about all the spins and no footwork, which is something uh, that I've been beating that dead horse for a while now. Uh, and it's just one of those things where it all comes down to style. And unfortunately, because we have so many people across the country that are doing things differently, um, and not by a historical from a historical standpoint, some things tend to get lost in translation. And then we have that creates a division, which unfortunately, even when sometimes Tony says things, people take it offensively rather than trying to understand what he's saying. But I guess I can't really. Um, I'm not criticizing Tony because I know that sometimes I can be abrasive as hell myself. So I'm trying. I'm getting better, y'all. That's all I can tell you. I'm trying to get better. That's all. That's all I can do. I want to be like y'all. Y'all got that diplomacy. Y'all know when to talk and when to be quiet. I don't. I'm sorry. I'm working on it. I'm a work in progress, y'all. So, you know. But but yeah, man. Listen, I personally appreciate everything that y'all have done and are doing in the community, man. Because again, it's one of those things where more people could take a lesson from the Texas boys in regard to number one, humility, number two, the ability to be diplomatic, the ability to be personable, and create an environment that allows a lot of room for people to be who they are and at the same time coexist in the community. So y'all have done a phenomenal job, and I personally want to thank y'all for that.
Thank you.
Hey,
Thank you.
appreciate it. And I just want to jump in there and say real
Go
quick.
ahead.
I just want to. I've been looking on my laptop and looking at the thread. I just want to,
Speak on it.
throw a shout out to everyone that's said, some nice things about us on the threads. That we really appreciate it, and we don't take it for granted. So thank you to everyone that's said nice things to us. I've seen some of the comments, but wasn't able to reply or comment, real time. So just wanted to say on behalf of Tommy and myself, we thank you guys for the nice words, the kind words of support, and we're going to continue to try to bring you guys the best events that we possibly can, because I think as a people, as a culture, we deserve it. We deserve the best. We deserve top notch. We deserve creme de la creme. And nothing makes us feel better. Nothing makes me feel better. And I know Tommy can speak on this. Nothing makes us feel better than seeing us, our people, getting dressed up, dressed to the nines, looking fantastic.
Black excellence, baby.
In a spectacular venue, and doing it up all the way, food flowing, drinks flowing, everybody having a good time, smiles all around. And that's, at the end of the day, that's what it's really all it's about to us. And, at the end of the day, that's what, Texas Boys Entertainment always try to convey and represent as a brand out there to everyone, that what we try to do, and for our people, for us. This is
Absolutely.
for us.
Absolutely. But see, and then that goes back to what our discussion has partially been about, and that being the fact that when we learn to embrace one another and embrace the culture and the dance and not do to each other what society does to us on a regular basis, and hold each other together and accountable, and we go so much further when we do that. It's amazing. Reggie Miles said he wants to come down there and hang out with y'all, but you gotta keep walking alive. Reggie Miles, I don't know why you don't think people walk around the country. We walk, man.
Yeah, we do.
Reggie Miles, we walk, man. We especially walking down here in San Antonio. I just want you to know. Now,
Yeah, yeah. We walk in Texas.
yes, sir. We walk in Texas.
Yeah.
Don't play no game. And in all the cities in Texas, we walk.
Oh yeah, show you right, show you right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Play
and
no
I
game.
and I also think too, uh, in regards to that word culture, Tommy and I have always been very conscious and um, very very what's what I'm trying to find. We always been real observant and conscious of the culture, of the dance, of
That's
stepping.
one of the things I respect about y'all. I'm just putting that out there to be honest with you, because very few people do.
But the thing that I want to point out is that I think what's important is that you can uh, convey that culture, try to represent that culture, but also to maintain your authenticity, which is what
Right.
we are, Texas boys. But we have a very high level of respect for the dance and where it originated from, which is Chicago.
Right.
And that's how we try to pattern our parties. And that's how, and we're very careful of how we present that, to the people. But at the same time, you can still do that and still be a Texas boy.
Yeah.
You can still
There you
maintain
go.
your authenticity.
That
You don't
part.
have to be like, we throw these parties and, hey, we're from Chicago and blah, 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 and yada, da, da, da. Oh, you don't know who we are? Oh, we from the southeast side. We over there off of one, blah, blah. You don't have to do all that.
Right.
You just be who you are and be authentic and just put the best product out there that you can possibly put out there, and that's what we try to do.
Well, I don't know how y'all managed to do it or figure it out, man, but y'all have done it, because there are people literally that are from the city who have less respect for the culture than y'all do. So, and that's a fact. I'm just saying, it's unfortunate, but it's true. Now,
And that's the reason. And that's the reason. Real quick, I'm gonna jump in just one more time.
Go ahead.
That's the reason. And I know a lot of times people may wonder, and I've actually heard that reverberate back to me. Is every time we look up Texas boys in Chicago, every time they always in Chicago.
Hey,
Well, it's like, duh.
Chicago stepping. Go figure.
Why wouldn't we be in Chicago?
Right.
They don't
That's
go
where the
nowhere.
dance is,
They
man.
always in Chicago. They don't go nowhere. Come on, man.
That's where it's going down. I have an interesting question that just came
It's
up.
the
D.
Mecca.
Russo. Does the Steppin community use these wonderful platforms and events to promote and encourage voter registration and political participation? Now, D. Russo, I'm not sure who you are, but if you want to see a real fight, bring politics that is not about stepping into stepping. We have enough problems with the politics and stuff, and I know that. And you make a very valid suggestion, because it should be that way. But boy, let me tell you, we have a very divided political community in Steppin.
Yeah.
That's because of so much diversity among us. That wow, that's a loaded one, and I'm actually gonna get at some more thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You bring that subject into Steppin, man.
Man.
Woo!
That's almost like somebody coming in and start preaching. Somebody want to bring religion into it. Boy, you gonna see some fighting. It's gonna be some
Man,
fighting.
I saw some stuff during the, especially during the height of the pandemic, and
Man,
Trump was still president, and elections were going on and stuff.
what you
I
talking
saw
about?
some stuff that I thought I would never see on Facebook.
Man, you ain't told no lie. I was amazed at
And
some
it
of
was
the
in
stuff I was
Steppin,
seeing, and I'm thinking,
Steppin.
you
it
really
was
think like
separate.
that? I thought I knew you.
Yeah.
Man, boy, you talking about trouble? Yeah, okay, bring politics into Steppin if you want to. Ooh-wee. I think, and that right there, and to be honest with you, and the suggestion was voter registration. with everything that's going on with voter registration right now, one has to ask, is that I don't know. I don't even know where to start with that. Matter of fact, I'm gonna leave that alone right now. Kind of like religion and politics. I'm gonna leave that alone right now. I'm gonna get at some thought.
yeah.
I'm gonna actually get at some thought. I gotta process that and think about if something like that is even remotely closely possible. I don't even know. Huh.
There's a
Well,
lot of stuff going on, Brian. I
yeah,
mean,
man. I know.
a lot.
Well, the thing is, the way society is headed, man, it's a scary, scary thing. What? I'm sorry.
Read the message to Tony. Say correct.
What do you say?
He said that the politicians come out with stuff.
Okay. Apparently, Tony said the politicians do come out to the step set. Well, that's all fine if you stumping for, if you trying to get elected. I guess so. You know what I'm saying? I would go too.
They're going, yeah, I'm sure they're going to Steppin churches
That's
and
a
everything.
no-brainer. Matter of fact, what was it? Last year we were at an event. We were at an event in Texas, and what was it? Was it the mayor that showed up?
Oh, that was it.
Yeah, the mayor. It was the mayor of the little small town where the event was. He showed up. And started. They passed out little bags and all kinds of stuff with stuff in the city, like a chamber of commerce type thing, which I thought was interesting. I thought it was good that they were, that they paid attention and were involved. I thought it was great. So yeah, I think there's some room for it. I just think we have to be very careful. Anyway.
Yeah, we had that happen. I don't know if you remember this, Tommy. I think it was I think it was a first Sunday. Mm-hmm. We had somebody come to our. We had like a intermission, and we were thanking everybody for coming out. And then somebody was there that was running for. I don't know.
Reggie Miles say in Chicago during the mayoral elections, both candidates came to stepper sets. See, like I said, I would too. Shit, them black folks with votes.
Yeah, she was running, but she was a lady. She was running for like some type of county seat or something, or some type of. And we gave her the mic and let her, let everybody know what she was doing and blah blah blah. So
Okay.
I mean, like Brian said, those votes, there's votes in there, man.
That's right. Them votes in that room,
Mm-hmm.
And I try to keep my political discussions for the black factor. When I'm on the black factor, sometimes, but I guess because this dance is a form of entertainment. Now, and I tell you something funny. My numbers. When I look at my numbers for both of these shows, for the Black Factor and for Inside Steppin', my numbers for Inside Steppin' are way higher than the Black Factor. The Black Factor has been on longer than Inside Steppin'. The interesting thing is that, and I say this about our people often, that sometimes we'd rather be entertained than we will taking anything seriously. And it's not a slight against us. It's just that we have so much stuff going on, and there's so many bad things in the world that when we get into our dance, the last thing we want to be bothered with are the ills of the world. The whole point is it's almost like somebody who's been drinking or smoking or whatever they doing, and then you inject something into the game and it just blows their high. And I think that people don't want their high blown, so they don't want politics and religion and anything else that's going to stop them from enjoying this dance to be put into the game. Now that's just my opinion. So I don't know. Am I off?
No. I mean, you're not off. You're not off. I don't disagree with anything you said.
Yeah. And one person says here, dancing is my safe haven. Now another person said there's a time and a place for everything. When you come to step, that's the time to release and have a great time. Nothing wrong with for serenity. Now that I agree with that absolutely.
You know what? Now that's what I think is important in regards to step set, and that's when we keep that centrally focused. As far as the party aspect of it. I know, a lot of times promoters get a lot of, different ideas and try to do different things and incorporate them into the step set. And that's cool. And, and then some of those things are very entertaining, objective, and whatnot. But based on, like I said, what we've been talking about, Tommy and I focused really on that, just like you said, those 4 or 5 hours, or 4, 5, 6 hours, we want those to be all about you being able to release, being able to enjoy, being able to dance, being able to, not think about anything else that's going on. Uh, and just for those few hours, um, being a very party festive like environment. Don't have to worry
Right.
about anything else.
Well, we have my man Chase Day is in the building out there, way out in L.A. And he just
What's
said, but
up,
I really
Unc?
feel like,
What up, Unc?
yeah, Unc is in the building. He said, but I really feel like sometimes you can put stepping aside to listen to anyone. If you put stepping ahead of everything, then what does that really say about you as a person? And again, and see now there's a direct um, reiteration of what I said earlier in regard to stepping being a secondary part of the culture in Chicago as it pertained to the lifestyle and the people who were a part of that in the times when it was coming up and growing. So that's exactly right. We have to, um, and as somebody else said earlier, there's a time and a place for everything. So yes, and I think that's where we're at with this. And so it for me, because I'm not gonna lie, the last big event that we attended was Texas Heat, and we had so much fun. Oh my God!
Oh yeah.
At that event, everybody was there. It was great, and I literally was so far removed from my day-to-day doldrums
Mm-hmm.
that I literally had to come down off of it. And I thought that was like incredible. It's been a long time since I felt like that at a set, and I loved every minute of it. So, for some
Oh
people,
yeah.
this is their piece. So that's a good thing.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
off. Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to Nike. That was Texas Heat off the chain.
Mm-hmm.
Off the chain. They did a for their first event. Man,
Man,
off the chain.
that thing was bananas.
Yeah,
You know.
it really was. Because it takes some time to really when you're talking about annual
To
events
get it to that level.
to get it. There you go.
Yeah, cause
There
he
you go.
cause he definitely he came out the gate swinging, man. I mean, it was a straight home
So
run. It was just off the chain,
Yeah,
and I and
no,
I
it goes back to the beginning, man. You know, interacting with people, connections,
relationships, baby, relationships. They
relationships.
everything.
It all gonna come back to
Hmm.
relationships.
Yep.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
one of the things that I admire about Nike, and this is something that my wife pointed out to me, not that she had to point it out, but just something that she spoke about, and she said that one of the things about Nike that she likes is that he stays positive even in the face of adversity, and he's good about maintaining composure even sometimes when it's very difficult. And that is where I personally lack. I'm lacking right there because I'm one of them
Oh,
people.
come
When you
on,
crack
Brian,
out
you
a
can
turn,
do
you
it,
know, understand
man.
me. We got a problem. You dig? So I have to remember. I don't be wanting to go back to my roots like that. I just wanna, I wanna be positive. I'm working on me, y'all. Like I said, I'm a work in progress.
You're a work in progress, man.
I'm work in progress, man. you know. So yeah. Anyway.
Reggie Miles say he only went to bar to dance for and dance to a woman.
Yeah. Well, we know Reggie Miles' story. He always want to grab a woman. So
But
yeah.
also too, I see Tony's comment. I mean, it's you take Steppin. I mean, he said about going poor in the hood, not having things like we wanted, rough times, stuff like that. And Steppin was a
Hmm.
way to bring people together, show love from different sides of the city, bro. See, that's what I'm talking about right there.
Yep.
That's some good stuff right there.
Yep. Absolutely.
You
And that's
know,
that's and that's really the way it was, man. Because you had cats, man. You know, living in a place like Chicago, it's about survival. It was about survival. It still is, especially now, because these kids now don't have. They ain't got no rules. They just out here. But when we was coming up, it was one of them things where you kind of had to It was about surviving, man. It was about being able to hold your own and not have to you know constantly be in the trenches. But it was kind of like that. It's still that way, but at the same time, everybody needed an out somewhere, sometime. If you knew, if you was at a set, it was like a no-fly zone. It was like it was a non-militarized area. You know what I'm saying? All right, ain't gonna be no beef up in here. You dig? When you
Yeah.
leave here, that's another story. But long as you in here, everything good. That's just kind of how things work. And so we do what we can to and I'm thankful that I guess it's because we older, because some of these young kids, man, they still out here and they got all these problems. I wish we could bring more of them into the dance. You know what I'm saying? and take so much anger and pain out of their heart, and get them something to look forward to. So
Yeah, because these kids out here, this youth is dealing with a lot, and the way the world is now, and a lot of still, you know, trying to come out of the pandemic and the certain uncertainties that surround that, with the economy and the job markets and just life, dealing with life and the volatility of everything. It can be very challenging.
yeah, Willie Jordan said my typing ain't the best, but he said I meant to say, ain't we all just work in progress? Yeah, see, you're right, Willie. We are just trying to be better than we were the day before, and that's exactly right, man. That's all we got. You know what I mean? Because we all know, especially in light of all of this current stuff that's going on, tomorrow ain't promised, man, and that's why we got to do better to ourselves and one another. It's just important. It's important for us to do that. C1 said, I never understood why would someone want to engage in conversations about sensitive topics at a function where people want to enjoy dancing. Yeah,
Man,
I agree with that.
I
So
agree with that too.
yeah. All right.
You'd be
Well,
surprised.
we gonna cut this thing off, man. What? Go ahead. Come on over here. See this how she do me, y'all. She always is over there whispering in the corner, and I have to try.
Oh, she whispering to you, Brian.
She be over there. You need to say what? Go ahead, baby.
Hey, everybody. I just got off from work, so I can't come over on camera. Anyway, I wanted to say, because I heard you say when you went to Detroit and you got the bug of the dance, we have a lot of new dancers here in San Antonio. Some of them are on the page. And I want you guys to say how important it is, because I notice you always have a workshop for your parties, how important it is for people, new dancers, to go to those workshops. And then how can we get more men in the dance is my second part to the question.
Wait. Before y'all answer that, Chase just said, "Let little sis do what she want, man. Lean back." See, I just got Unk just told me.
Thank
Unk
you.
just jumped me. You feel me? Go ahead, y'all.
Well, far as the men's go, Brian, I think from what I'm just go from what I've seen from the time we have a lot of ladies that are great dancers. They discourage the guys. They,
Really? You think so?
yeah, I see a lot of that.
Huh.
Some of them just give up. Don't want to
Well,
be
wait a
bothered.
minute. Hold on. Expound on that a little bit. When you say they discourage the guys, you talking about like newer guys coming into the dance. What kind of things have you seen? And I'm asking because, y'all are both very observant in that way, and maybe I'm not, and I'm curious about that.
I mean, I want to say trying to take them too fast. I guess on the first day, just want them to be able to, participate in the world laws or something like that. And,
Hmm.
just.
I did see something
it,
like that happen recently.
uh,
Well, so in other words, it's kind of like, see, this is where we go though too, where we start getting into the egos of it all, and it's unfortunate, but men I think are more sensitive in this dance than women are. Now that you mention it, that I have seen.
oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
And guys, we don't want to be out there. We got that ego thing. We don't want to be out there looking stupid and, you
Yeah.
know, you know,
We want to be
yeah.
cool and
we want to
everything.
be cool,
Well, and you
but
know what's funny? I got accused recently. Somebody, I ain't gonna say no names, told me that I said something wrong one day. I don't remember saying this, and if I did, it was taken out of context. But they said that I said that there were more men dancers in Chicago than women, which I know I didn't say that. What I probably said was there are more opportunities to dance with men in Chicago because of the populace of male dancers, because of the culture. Because I do know that around the country, you get men who dabble around and play around with it, and they be like, yeah, nah, because a man's ego, they don't want to get, they don't want their ego bruised, so they just kind of, play with it, mess around with it, and then, like you said, if there's a woman who is expecting, I don't know, too much maybe from a new dancer, I don't know. I've watched a lot of guys in classes just kind of sit back and not do enough to try and learn to dance. So you're probably right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
I
turned
think
down a lot, Brian. When I first learned how to step, they didn't know who I was. I go out. I was, I'm just learning. You want to dance now? No. Oh, my feet hurt right now. Next time, next Sunday, I tell somebody else.
yeah, it would be helpful
But
if they were embraced. I think you're right about that.
yeah, but
Yeah.
over the years, Texas boys, man, got out there. Hey, that same girl, you want to? Whoa, you used to turn me down. Now you want to dance?
See, see there. But yeah, but I
I done
mean,
got turned
see,
down a
well,
lot,
see,
man,
but
when
I'm
I
gonna tell you
first.
something too, though. Like one of the things, one of the funny things about that, it's like the actual like you can dance and you can't kind of mentality developed when money got involved and when the 8 count started to become more popular, like on the level that it is now. Back in the day, if you went to a stepper set, you would rarely see people who looked like one another stepping. In the way they did their thing, they might have had a slightly different cadence or a slightly different swag about themselves. And it's like now, if you don't look like the next person, you get criticized, and they're like, oh, he can't dance. He don't look just like that guy over there. And it's kind of like it's gone in reverse. But it is what it is. I ain't got no heaven or hell to put nobody in, and I say people need to just enjoy dancing. It's even crazy. In fact, I had a guy here who lives here now from Chicago, and he and I were having. He's older than me. We actually, in fact, I'm going to have him on the show first of the year, and we were talking about the differences because he came up in a bop era and moved into the stepping era, and he was telling when I said it, when I talked about bopping, he was like, yeah, see, well, we didn't even call it that. We just danced. It was just a dance, and he's right. If somebody said they were going out to dance and you knew what kind of person you were talking to, you already knew what they were going to do. There was no, well, it's Chicago style, it's stepping, it's bopping. It wasn't, you weren't gonna hear nobody say, oh, well, we walking over here. It was, we going out to dance. So culturally speaking, things have evolved so much until now people feel like they have to be doing things a certain way in order to fit into the dance. And I can see where that would be discouraging for some guys. So yeah.
There's a lot of guys, man. They just like your wife say. I mean, it just, man, you scare
Now,
them before they even get the opportunity, to even see what it's really all about.
Jamila Salim on the YouTube channel says beginner women aren't embraced either. Men are rude to them on the dance floor. Miss a step or turn if you want to. Now, see that I don't like that. I don't like
I've
that.
seen that a
And
lot.
that's as
Yeah.
bad as the people who want to instruct on the floor and all that kind of thing. I don't
And
like that, and I will dance. I will dance with anybody. Um,
I see people instructing on the floor all night at parties, Brian.
yeah, I don't. What? I used to actually pride myself in being able to take a woman who had never stepped and be able to dance her on the floor in a way that she had not danced before because of the ability to lead. And I think that no one is so far gone, even if they can dance a little bit, that they can't get on the floor and still have a good time. And that's where I think we get lost at, because people, they're so rigid in these processes that they forget to have fun. That's messed up to me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a continual working process. I think you have to have a certain level of thick skin. I know when I first started stepping, I went through all of those things, getting turned down all the time, worrying about looking dumb on the dance floor,
Mm-hmm.
or not being able to completely and fully execute this move the way you see an experienced guy doing the same move or whatnot. But I was just one of those ones that was just, very persistent,
Mm-hmm.
as far as, continuing to practice and dance. Um, and keep getting out there, and not getting discouraged if someone turned me down or they didn't know me, or like when Tommy say, even when it was kind of like levels to it.
Mm-hmm.
I went through a phase where I was getting turned down just because I didn't, really know how to dance well, and then I got started getting turned down on dance just because they didn't know me. Like
Mm-hmm.
like Tommy said, when we first started, promoting in Chicago, people were not really knowing who we were, especially the women that are in Chicago used to be dancing with certain guys or whatever.
Right.
And it didn't matter if you could dance or not; they just didn't know you. It was like, I don't know you, no, I don't know, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And when you had to,
I
and
have to admit, Chicago women can be a bit rude. I have seen that.
I kind of
I,
like what Chase said on the line.
I have seen. Well, but see again, I've seen that in more now than in times past. Now I could be wrong, but maybe I'm being more observant or have been more observant in the
No, you're
past.
not.
I
You
don't know.
you dead on. But like Tommy said, the same women, the same people that would turn us down. It's like now we go to a set and it's like I can't get off the dance floor. It's like I'll finish one dance and I'm getting grabbed on the shoulder or
I literally
I'm getting
watched the
tugged this
guy.
way.
I watched the guy. Joanne Kane. She just screamed my name. She said me and too. And I think this goes. I think this actually crosses gender. It's not one gender or the other that does more than the other. I think that this is a thing that goes in both directions. I do remember one year I was at World's Largest, and there was a guy from here in Texas who was there, and that boy couldn't buy a dance, and I couldn't do nothing but. I could just shake my head at it. He caught hell that day. I just,
He couldn't buy a dance
There
right.
was, it was a rough day that
bruh,
day, huh?
I mean, they was cutting his head, Jack. I was like, ooh, okay, all
Whew.
right, you know.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, so, to that point that you're saying, some guys with as far as egos is fragile. Some guys can't come back from that.
Yeah, and I
You know what
agree.
I'm saying? You go to a party like that and get there and get turned down by several women. You like, what's the point?
Yep,
You know?
Especially
yep.
you go want to P. Frazier party. You know Chili Park is big, so
Man,
I don't have enough nerves. Go
but
from
now
one
see,
side of the room to the other side of the room, and you tell me, no, I ain't coming back.
you're right.
No.
But now hold on. And men's egos are super fragile. Way more fragile than some of these women.
Oh
But now
yeah.
check this out. In that same vein, though, there are women, and it's unfortunate, but you literally, because there are so many more of them in this dance than us, you literally see women who go to a set, they get all dressed up, they come in the room, and might get one dance, two dances all night long. Now, then you have the women who refuse to ask a man to dance. And ladies, let me just tell
Oh yeah.
y'all, especially if you're new to this dance, this ain't the old days. If you want to dance these days, you better grab one of these cats or you will be sitting down all night.
Yeah, because the
It's
woman that's asking having a ball.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. They getting it in. Don't play no game.
She
Look, they
having a
meet you at the
ball.
dance floor. You can't get off the floor good. Oh, they having a ball. Believe that. You're
The
right.
ones that's asking having a ball.
Yeah. Yes. They
Yeah.
kicking it hard. Don't
Yeah.
play.
They'll have two totally different perspectives on how they nights went. One that asked me to dance, and the one that didn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cause I can remember. I'm trying to think. I was at some set, and there was a woman there. She's an older lady, and I think she was fairly new to stepping. And she's like, I'm not asking no man to dance. Okay.
Okay.
You'll be sitting right there. But now, and then there's those too who end up, especially at these big events, sitting way in the back in the corner of a room. Now, you've actually got guys that will venture back to those corners and grab those women. We should probably do more of that. And even I've been guilty. In fact, I think I got cussed out twice at y'all's event this year.
Oh, man.
Well, you know, I had been on my feet a lot, man, you know, because I was doing those interviews and all that stuff, and I was moving around. And one of those days, I wasn't feeling it. And so I just kind of, matter of fact, I was hanging out with me and Tony Adway was kind of kicking back, you know, and talking and stuff. And, you know, on the last day I got it in. But now I'm going to tell you, while we got old Uncle Chase Day on here, he cracked me up because he said, yeah, man, he had on one of them days, he had on one of his jogging suits. He was like, oh, I'm about to get my dance on. He said, 'cause when I come back tonight with my suit on, I ain't getting ready to get all sweaty. That's what he told me. So you already knew how that was about to go. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, it's one of those things. Like I said, I think some people, just show up at some of these events just for the atmosphere, just for the crowd, for the cohabitation, you know, just to be around a bunch of people. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and I think that's the reason why we, you know, designed Black and Bling the way it is, because, you know, and Tommy makes this point a lot. You know, Black and Bling is an event where it's a party. You just don't happen to be stepping. So it's a very party, festive atmosphere. So if you go to a place, and let me just say this, I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't speak for anybody else, but if I go to a party, if I can't do that particular dance, but they got great food, they got top shelf open bar, I can, you know, there's great atmosphere. Let's say I'm just so happen. For instance, I'm a single guy, and I go in and I see all these beautiful women. Well, you know, hey, I think I'm gonna have a pretty good night. I'm gonna have a pretty good time. You know, so sometimes, you know, the environments that you know, you create, you know, that makes a lot of difference with people.
Yeah.
You know.
Now, speaking on that environmental situation, Jamila Salim also just asked another question that she wants our opinion on. She said, Texas boys and Brian, what do you think about jeans or casual clothing being worn at stepper sets? Is the attire changing? Woo! What, y'all want to take that first, or? I'm going to say this.
You go ahead, Brian.
Here's the thing. I sincerely hope that promoters make sure that they entertain or at least have a dress code. I think that there is a necessity to maintain a particular environment in steppers events. Stepper sharp was always the tone. It's necessity. When I was coming up and being in Chicago, and this you know, it's funny to me sometimes here, right here in Texas and in other places that I've lived. If I get up in the morning and I put on clothes because that's what we do where I come from, or at least that's what we used to do. People are like, oh, what you so dressed up for? Like, what? No, this is the way I dress. Just because you think a pair of Nikes is dressed up, that ain't me. I didn't come from that. Where I came from, matter of fact, I don't think I even owned a pair of gym shoes until I left Chicago. We had hard bottom shoes. We wore shoes every day. We got up and put on a jacket sometimes. We put on a shirt, a nice shirt, a button down. We put on slacks, baggy slacks with our pleats. You know, we had on nice stuff. That was just the way we dressed every day. So when you came to a set, then you dressed up. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, you weren't going to show up at one of them sets looking like just anything because you didn't want cats like, your bum ass. What you do? What, you know, bruh, seriously. You couldn't get in certain clubs in Chicago. Matter of fact, most clubs that you wanted to be in, bro, don't even think about wearing no jeans or no tennis shoes. Man, you not getting near the door. Forget about it. You're not even coming in. So it's kind of like now because people have gotten this idea that wearing Timberlands or something like that is dressed up. You know, we got people who literally dress down at some of these sets, and you know, I personally don't care for it. I can't tell nobody how to do their thing, and I definitely can't tell a promoter what they should and shouldn't allow. But me personally, I'm not going nowhere looking like nobody's, you know, like I fell out the, you know, out the gap or something. I ain't going out like that. I can't. And if you catch me in some jeans at a stepper set, you best believe I got on a set that's got a jacket or a shirt or something that's fly as hell and some gaiters or something like that. That's how I'm going. I'm not going out like that. That's just me.
I think a lot of these sets that with the jeans cost, you know, they may have one dress up night and the rest of them, you know, rep your city and jean night, casual night the next day. I think a lot of it is what the promoter put on their flyer. You know, they have one dress up night and rest, and other days you can just dress casual. But or it's black and bling, you know, our Friday and Saturdays both dress up nights. You know, white night on Friday, you know, black and bling on Saturday. But I think a lot of that stuff we see, Brian, is actually on the flyer, you know. And to be honest with you, you know me, Devin, always traveling. I hear it all the time. A lot of people actually saying they tired of dressing up. They want to go to sets where they can just wear what they want to wear and be comfortable. I hear that.
That's what the meet and greet and the Sunday set is for. If you're doing a 3-day event, the other days, the main events, you need to have some clothes on. You need to look like you know. This is supposed to be black excellence. Don't just come.
Okay, the meet and greet is Thursday or Friday to you.
Is it? It depends on what how many days the event is.
Okay, so really, it's kind of like we both saying the same thing. One dress up night, and the rest of the night you can dress down.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Say for example, like y'all's meet and greet is usually what, Thursday?
Yeah,
it's Thursday or Friday. Okay. Well, people show up on Thursday. Okay, so you figure if y'all giving the offsite set like y'all do sometime, where you know you showing up at a offsite club or whatever, 9 times out of 10 you gonna come in. You ain't gonna be completely dressed up, but offsite club or whatever. You go to that, you might have on jeans, you might have on whatever you got on. Okay, cool. But let's say you got a main event on Friday night, which y'all do. You don't want nobody showing up at y'all's Friday night event, which is the white party, looking crazy.
No. And I think the lady that asked this, she probably getting confused because, I think people, most of the events have one dress-up night, and the rest of the nights be casual. And I think, and some people want to be dressed every day, and if you come dressed every day, it does kind of. I think a lot of it got to do. People following what's on the flyer, I think.
Well, look at it this way. This also goes back to how we discussed earlier, people's involvement in their life outside of the dance. Because you got people who don't dress up no other time, who literally don't even have clothes like that. Okay? Yeah. Me personally, I got a closet full of shit I need to get rid of. But you got people who that's just not how they roll. They didn't come up that way. So right. It's like for them, it's a struggle to especially some of these women. You got women who literally have damn near gone their whole life and don't even really wear heels. Who just they don't and and I'm gonna say this, and I probably shouldn't, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Being honest, look, I'm gonna be like you. Look, I'm not gonna keep it politically correct right now. To be honest with you, at some of these events, you could tell who dresses all the time and who don't. You can tell. You can look at some of these people and you know that they're struggling with their outfit. And it's not a knock on them because they're still there and they're still presenting and trying and doing their thing. But at the same time, it all goes back to that part of the culture that's outside of the dance. How do they get down in their real life outside of the dance community? See? And it carries over. See, and that's the one thing about this dance is that whoever you are, That's who shows up at this set. And then it just so happens you can dance too. See what I'm saying? So if these are
Hmm.
people who just don't get down like that, well, they just don't get down like that.
Yeah.
But you know what though? I think it's like I'll refer back to what Reggie Miles said on one of the comments.
Mm-hmm.
We now we got to go back to the culture, and and again, as a promoter, Tommy and I were very observant. But it wasn't just the fact that we knew that culturally, Step Sharp is that's a mainstay. That's just non-negotiable.
Right.
But it also happened to be that, I mean, Tommy and I, we like to dress up anyway. We old school,
There you go.
and so that's why we even added the Friday night. Because I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, you may have some people say, oh, why would they get dressed up all the time? But at the end of the day, when you get in there and get in those parties and everybody's dressed to the nine, I think it does something to the atmosphere.
It does. Absolutely does.
It
It
affects
absolutely
it.
does. Black excellence, baby. You go in that room and you know you among people who care
Yeah,
about
it's a different
themselves and how
it's
they
a
look
different
in their
tone. It's a
presentation.
different tone.
Yes.
There's going to be a different tone to a party where everybody's dressed to the nine and clean and all and they got it laid all the way out versus a set where you know people got sweatpants on and Timberlands
Hmm.
and jeans and or whatever
Right.
t-shirt. It's just go. I mean, that's
It's a
just
whole different vibe, man. You absolutely correct. You know, there was a club in Chicago years ago called the Godfather. It was actually there were more than there were several different locations that the Godfather moved to, but I can remember the last one um, that was on 87th and Stony Island, and I can remember it was literally you had to be at least 30 years old to even get in. But I promise you, if you didn't have on a jacket, you wasn't getting in. If you didn't have on some slacks, you wasn't getting in. Period. And I promise you, when you went in there, you knew you was someplace where people either had a little paper or at least they looked like they did. It was a whole different environment. It was a different atmosphere. And in
yeah.
fact, when I was coming up, the different clubs that we would go to, like, you would go up in a Sweet Georgia Brown or, go out to the Cotton Club or be in, now, Rick's was a little more casual, but most of the places that you would go to, you weren't getting in the door unless your gear was on point, period. And Joanne Kane said the Cotton Club. Poppy just said the Cotton Club too. Yep. You wasn't even, man, look, get away from here. Real talk. You ain't getting nowhere near this place. Hmm. And now she talking about people who used to get their clothes made. Absolutely. Well, still do. But, that was another thing. Most
Yeah.
cats in Chicago that was serious about their game, they didn't buy off the rack. Because it ain't nothing worse than going somewhere and seeing somebody with your same fit on. You know what I'm saying? That was
Ain't
like a
nothing
no
worse
no.
than that.
That was a huge no no. I literally I am very, very, very particular when I go in a store to buy something. I'm very particular about what I look at and what I think about purchasing because the last thing I want is to be at a set. And when you at a set, like for example, y'all's, you got a couple of thousand people walking around. What's the chances of seeing somebody with your same thing on? It's very high. It's very high. You got to be careful, man.
And you know
It's
what?
real high.
And you know
And
what?
I've seen it.
And you know what? I'm gonna say this. And I'm gonna give props to my big bro. I'm gonna give my props to Tommy on this one
Uh huh.
because I always knew, when we have Step Sharp and dress and everything, I was always prepared and ready. I got something laid out, got a nice little suit or whatever, and put it together and boom, boom, and I'm off and running, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you're talking about really embracing the culture,
Mm-hmm.
and as far as men in this dance in this game, I realized, and he made me realize there's another layer, there was another level and layer that I wasn't well, not say wasn't cognizant of, but I wasn't um, um being mindful of.
Mm-hmm.
And once he turned me on to that, started making me think about it. He used to say little stuff here and there. Hey, little bro, hey man, you ought to, try this, or man, you need to think. That. I'm like, well, what's wrong with what I got? It ain't like you
Right,
trying to say
right.
you say I'm dressing like a slouch, or what were you trying to say? No, man, I ain't trying to say that. I ain't trying to say that, man. But
Tommy, was you hitting him? Was you hitting him, Tommy?
there's a, and instead of taking it as a negative, I started really thinking about it, and then I started thinking about like my dad, because I think my dad is one of the coldest dressers out there.
Mm-hmm.
Coldest. I'll put my pops up to
Yeah,
anybody.
pops be clean. I seen him.
Yeah. And so I'm like, you know what? He's right. I just didn't want to uh think about it in that way,
Mm-hmm.
and because you have to put some time into that. You got to put some thought into that. You
Yep.
got to put some that's another level. And then once I started doing it, I started really embracing it and getting into it. Now it's a point now where I know we're going somewhere. I'm thinking about
Mm-hmm.
my outfit months in
Right,
advance.
right, exactly. And look, because that's the reason why when we start talking about spending money going to these different sets, hey Jack, it costs. It costs to travel.
Yeah,
It costs to be there. It cost and if you one of those people like y'all, for example, y'all high profile cats, you can't get seen in the same thing 2 or 3 times. You got
No, you
you
can't
got to
do
go
it,
shop.
man.
You know what I'm saying? But look, Chase
yeah,
Chase
and
just
you
said
know
he
what?
seen somebody in his jacket, but he didn't look as good as him. That's something he would say too.
And he would tell me that. It's like, hey man, you know how many parties we attend, how many pictures we take?
That's
No,
right. That's
you,
right.
you got to,
But I'm gonna tell you, I tell you like this though too. If you know what to buy, see now we giving fashion advice. When
you're
you
right
know
about
what
that,
to buy,
Brian.
you
You,
literally can use the same pieces in a combination that nobody would even realize it was the same thing. If you know
right.
what to buy. See, a lot of people don't know that. I just gave y'all a gem. You better take that one and run with it. Y'all hear that out there in Step of Land, y'all better take that one.
And
Yeah.
ladies, for Friday night, the white night, please wear makeup that's long lasting, don't rub off on your
Ooh,
clothes. 'Cause my
Lord.
husband's suit, the first year we went to Black and Green,
Destroyed my
was
white
tore
suit.
up.
Destroyed my white suit. That makeup, oh my God.
Or your wife
That's
put makeup on you.
man, this whole shoulder, Jack, got a foundation on it.
It wasn't mine. You gotta wear long lasting
Boy.
hair and makeup, ladies.
So,
Yeah.
so, so what you saying, Brian? On the white night,
Ladies
um,
need to wear. My wife is a makeup artist. She's been a professional makeup artist for 30 years.
okay.
Ladies need to wear long lasting makeup, the kind that does not rub off on men's suits. Because people hug, women bump into you by accident. You be
So
walking
that
when you're in
is
a big
makeup
crowded
that
room
don't
like
rub
that.
off.
Somebody might accidentally, a lady. I've had lipstick on my sleeve before. These things happen. So women should be very mindful of the type of makeup that they use.
If he was by himself, he'd be beat down.
I wasn't aware. I thought all makeup rub off. I
No,
wasn't
No.
aware of that.
no, no, no.
Mm-mm.
You'll get tore up, Jack. I got that man. I'd have had a couple of pieces ruined. You know what I'm saying? At a stepper set. Yeah. So
Okay.
that's just one more for the road.
That's
Um,
2 tips for the night.
yeah, I gave y'all 2 tips for the night. There you go. Look. Y'all hear that in Stepper Land? Y'all got 2 tips out of me tonight.
All right.
Well,
Appreciate that,
I'm a
man.
look, huh? What'd you say?
I said I appreciate them 2 tips.
Yeah, hell yeah. Um, my wife said she want me to make sure to tell this to everybody. Uh, tell the people how important it is to go to Chicago for the dance and see what Stepper Sharp really look like. I agree. I think that a lot of people need to. I'm gonna just tell you like this: if you're in the world of stepping, you will do yourself an amazing favor just by going to Chicago and experiencing the atmosphere of the dance in its natural form, in its natural habitat, if you will. sort of
Let
like
me
a
add to that,
animal in the
Brian.
jungle, huh?
I mean, yeah, you 100% right, but what trips me out, you got promoters that's giving parties ain't never been to Chicago.
Oh, I know. When listen, man, bruh, listen. I know, and and the crazy thing to me, and see, this is how so much gets lost in the dance, and that. But just like you have instructors. Literally, I know people who call themselves instructors who have not been to Chicago, and they don't. And when you start, hold on, Willie Jordan said actually the second tip came from Brian's wife, but I'm not nitpicking. Okay, I see you. I see you, Willie Jordan. Yeah, okay. Uh, but no, it's very necessary for people to experience what they are promoting or what they are teaching. I can't stress that enough. I just can't, and that's an extremely important point. What did you say, babe?
Since y'all are from Texas, and when you started dancing, because a lot of people scared to go to Chicago, I believe they see stuff on the news, even though Chicago's not number one in crime. I want you to tell your experience of going there, how important it is to go there. I'm sure you had an eye opener when you went there when you first learned to dance.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
C1s on YouTube says, "I'm gonna look into Donnie Davis class. From what it looks like, he shows love to the fellas." C1s, you are absolutely correct. Yes, go see Donnie Davis. You will not be disappointed. Real talk. That's a good one to choose. He definitely handles the fellas. He definitely will get you on your game. Absolutely. Um, oh, I'm sorry. My wife said I interrupted y'all. Go ahead.
Oh,
No,
that's good, man.
as far as yeah, going to Chicago, yeah, I mean that was it's definitely was an experience, and we just felt like there's no way we can be down here in Texas throwing step sets and not go to Chicago. And yeah, I mean, yeah, we heard about the crime and this, that, and the other, and you know, we I mean, we just tend to be mindful of what we're doing and
Hmm.
how we're doing it, and how we're moving and stuff like that, and then just let it be what it's going to be. But yeah,
Well,
as far
I
as
do encourage people to network. You know, ladies, connect up with some of the Chicago ladies that's serious about the dance. You got a group of women that are well known throughout the country, um, who embrace women from outside the city. And will definitely help you to navigate those waters. Fellas, same thing. Look at pay attention to who you're dealing with. I'm not saying get connected up with just anybody because it's still some grimy folks out there. But relationships. This goes back to what we started off talking about: the relationships and the people that you deal with um, in the dance, and how you develop those relationships, and the importance of building in the community. And that was part of why I was thinking in terms of what I said earlier, y'all, when we was talking about people in the community, kind of coming together more. I really wish we could just embrace each other a lot more in this dance.
yeah, and that's what it really is. That's what it really boils down to at the end of the day is relationships.
Hmm.
Tommy and I are very well aware of that, and that's the beauty and the joy of the dance itself is those relationships because and going to Chicago and to Mecca, we met some fantastic people. Some just literally outstanding people, and we've been able to cultivate and build relationships with those people. I've gained some uncles, some aunties, well, we both have,
Yeah,
and that's what it really is all about at the
that
end of the
Chicago
day
family.
is relationship, and it is a family,
Yep,
and
absolutely.
you see these people, you start seeing them routinely,
Hmm.
and it makes a big difference, and you know that is it's important that like I said, if you don't live in Chicago and you're doing anything, where you're throwing parties, you teaching, be doing anything. I think anything, if you're not there regularly, then it's not that's you're not doing the culture and the dance
Hmm.
justice. It's proper
Uh,
Giving
justice.
it proper dues.
Yeah.
To- Tony Anthony said we look out for out of towners because of the things that are going on in our city. Yeah, and we appreciate that. I appreciate the fact that there are people that are looking out for others. Tony Anthony, Brick Chef Tony, I got a bone to pick with you, man. How many damn names you got? You got to pick one. I'm sick of calling you all this stuff. I don't know what the hell to call you no more. You got too many damn names.
They got a whole
Uh,
bunch of names.
William Owens said, "Go to the Capricorn Ball. You will definitely get a good taste of Stepper Sharp." There you go. There you go.
Show you right. Show
Big
you right.
Will, Chicago native, Houston resident, and his wife Riri.
What day is that Capricorn ball? Tell me to put it on the website.
Uh, 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 Will put the dates for the Capricorn Ball up, so we know when that is.
Yeah,
Let
put it
us
in the
let us
chat.
promote that a little bit. Yeah, cause we gonna close this down here in a minute. Y'all done drug me a whole 45 minutes over my show, man. See how y'all do.
It's all good. It's all
But you know
good.
what? I ain't mad because it's always good when we can have good dialogue, man, and people can get something from it. That's what this is all about, you know.
Right, right.
Chase Day say, yeah, always tell me uh, uh, and Devin to let me know when you coming into Chicago. They always say they don't know where you at. Dusted thing, just let me know. I'll make sure you guys are okay. Oh, okay. So in other words, he's saying, make sure, what I'm saying, when y'all let him know when y'all in the city, he got your back. He makes some phone
Oh
calls,
yeah.
get your security detail, you dig?
Yeah, that's Uncle Chase.
He gonna,
Appreciate it,
Tony, he gonna say whatever one is easier for you to remember, my brother. See, the problem is, Tony, I remember all of them. Damn it. And I be wanting to say them all too. Look, I be ready. I be ready to string off that list of names.
He probably in Facebook jail.
Oh, okay. Poppy said you was in Facebook jail. You had to come up with a new name. Okay, I got you. I see how it is now. But yeah, man. Um, and it's important though, that we uh, encourage as many people as possible. Man, I want to see more people enjoy the dance, become a part of it, and just enjoy it for what it is, man, and take all of the nonsense out, even though I know that's impossible. And just have fun. Just have fun with it, man, because that's what this is all about. That's what it's all about. And Reggie Miles said, "Embrace the history of Chicago style." Yes, absolutely. Um, that is one of the things that I've ranted and bitched and moaned about this in the past, where we got all these different instructors who, like we talked about, people who giving events and they've never been to Chicago. It's so important for people to really embrace and understand the culture. You can't teach people this dance, not really, unless you can teach them all of it. And all of it includes, and in fact, is probably more involved, which is the culture and history, than the steps themselves. And that's a fact. I asked Sharnice that one time. Matter of fact, I asked her that at Black and Bling this year when I interviewed her. And I said, what, in your opinion, what do you believe that teaching the culture and history is 75% of the dance? And she said more than that. And this is somebody who is a well-known and respected individual in the community because of her ability to train dancers, and in fact has trained championship dancers herself. But if you don't understand why you're doing what you're doing and what it is that you're doing, then it's almost pointless to do it. It's
Right.
almost, you'll never truly embrace what this is without knowing that. It's just as simple as that. So I'm happy that y'all have taken the steps that you have in y'all's journey, which all of our journeys continues no matter how many years we've been in it. We all are still on a journey.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it. It's a continuous evolution.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
and like I said, not just the dance itself, but everything that it encompasses stepping. Like I was just talking about the attire. I evolved in that. That's been a journey for me, and I've embraced that.
Oh, and speaking of which, where were we at? Boy, you had on a suit. Boy, it was so cold. That damn suit was shot. Where was that? Texas heat? Was it Texas heat we saw it? Boy, you.
It was
Boy, that suit you had on in Texas Heat, boy, you was clean. Boy, you was clean. You understand me? It just came back to me. Boy, you was clean, Mister.
You know, and I said, okay, I knew I was starting to make an impact when we went to the all white party weekend,
Mm.
and I had on a double breasted all white, and I had a big high boy, white high
Yeah, you
boy
did.
on,
I remember that.
and I was feeling myself. I ain't gonna lie, I was feeling myself, and
Hey, but don't you feel better though when you look that good?
man, let me tell you something.
Just
It
something
felt
feel
like,
good, Brian.
man, let me tell you something. I had, it was just nice to get. I was getting compliments from cats that was from Chicago,
That
just
hey,
guys in
now
Chicago.
you know you clean when you get that.
When I got that, I said, okay,
Yeah,
I'm doing something now.
that's
You know.
right. Cause one thing for sure, cats at home will tell you when you clean, boy. They
Yeah,
will let you
yeah,
know. Oh yes,
yeah.
sir. You rocking that one. Uh huh.
So that's just what it is. As far as just embracing everything, and that's what we love. And I think that's why it was so easy for Tommy and I to gravitate towards stepping because you know if people don't know, us being from Texas, we originally come from a different dance. We come from swing out, but we come from a certain generation
Mm-hmm.
of swing out.
Mm-hmm.
And Tommy and I come from that old school version of swing out, and being from that old school version, when we started getting into stepping, it reminded us of what we encountered as dancers in the old swing out community,
Mm-hmm.
sharp dressing, the
Right.
music.
Right. Cause the,
Uh,
cause the old school swing out community is a lot like the steppers community.
Oh yeah,
They got a whole culture, history, rules, etiquette. They got all of that.
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
The
yeah,
dress,
and
the whole nine. Yeah. A lot of
you
people
know,
don't know about the swing out community only because it predominantly is in Texas. But boy, let me tell you, they roll just like
mhm.
the steppers community for sure.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it's since the dances, especially with swing out, it's changed so much.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of those, cats, you know, it, you don't see them. They it's kind of like now say they extinct. They don't come out as much, or
Mm-hmm.
there may be a party by certain groups that they make attend every once in a while with no particular groups throw parties, and that's it. You won't see them no other time
Hmm.
you know. But
Mm-hmm.
that's why again it was so easy for us to
Transition. Mm-hmm.
transition.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay. That's what's
And then
happening.
that's what I like about stepping, cause the old cats, man, and stepping, they come out. Them cats be
Yeah.
70,
Yes,
80
sir.
years old and dance all night long.
Yes, sir. Will dance longer than a young cat. Maybe all night
Oh
long.
yeah.
Won't get off the floor. You sure right. But see, that's those people who, when they come to dance, they came to dance. They didn't come do all that other stuff. They came to straight up get their dance on. Absolutely. So, all right, y'all. We gon' cause we'll be done went down another rabbit hole. Uh, ladies and gentlemen
I
out
see
there,
you kind of got close. You were starting to you caught yourself.
yeah, man. Look, well, I
I
mean,
could talk
listen,
6 hours
I
straight.
I I love doing this. I love interacting with people. I love being able to explain um, things to those who may not know. And when I have those like the Reggie Miles and the Tony Anthonys and the people who have been around the Chase Day, people who've been around this dance forever on here to reiterate some of the points and add their content and their input, it's always a good thing because what we want is for it to be educational. We want it to be uplifting. We want it to be black excellence. We want positivity. And we want people to grow in the dance. We want everybody's journey to take turns here and there that take them down paths that make it better, make them feel some kind of way when they hit that flow, when they out there on that wood. So when I can do that, man, it makes me happy. And I'm glad that we went 2 hours tonight. Especially, and Joanne Kane said 51 years, and she said she's still dancing. Um, especially in that this will be the Willie Chapman said, thanks for the event, fam. William Owens, see you in Houston, Texas. So Willie Chapman will be here in Texas for his event. He said he bringing the whole house from the Chi. That's what's up. We'll be here in March. I'm glad that we're able to do this. I want to be able to continue to do it. So this right here is going to be the last show of the year for Inside Steppin'. And I'm telling you all this, everybody out there in Steppin' world, because what we're doing is retooling. We're making some changes, some visual things, and we're going to make the show better. I happen to have an offspring who is an expert at these things, and she will be assisting me on making this experience even better. I'm happy with the progress that this show has made over the last year, 2 years, and I'm happy with everything that's going on, and I just want to be able to make the best possible presentation that I can to enhance the dance and make it better for everybody. So if I can bring strong content and make it visually pleasing and verbally exciting, then we doing something.
Right.
And shout out to you, Brian.
And like my wife said, yes, you can also book Inside Steppin' to come and cover your events, ladies and gentlemen, across the country. You can have us come out like we did Texas Heat. We covered that entire event from front to back, and well, not the entire event, the entire competition. From beginning to end. You can check that on YouTube. All you got to do is go to Texas Heat on Inside Steppin', and you can watch that entire event, the whole competition. So that's what we're doing now. So we're going to be covering many events in the coming year. So y'all get ready for that. In fact, we already booked the Crush and Cream and possibly, I don't even, anyway, we'll wait until that's a positive before we.
Do you have a flyer just saying that, Brian?
Huh?
Do you have a flyer on that saying you guys come out and book it? I mean,
I don't. See, Tommy, this is part of the reason. This is part of the reason why we're taking out.
You'd be surprised. A lot of people don't know that. I didn't know that.
Been saying it for a while, but you know.
Poppy do a lot of saying. She say a lot of stuff, and so it's one thing to say it. It's another thing to ask for it to get done, and I got to do all the work. So I'm just saying.
I can't do it, but I can say
I said, Brian, I wasn't trying to start no trouble.
Yeah, you already did, man. It's your fault. I'm blaming you.
I wasn't trying to start. I just that was their flag. I didn't know she was telling you to get one.
But now, no, she has. Look, man, listen. I got a lot of. I got a whole lot of input from her and from my mini me, my daughter, who is my executive producer, who also is very instrumental in making sure that my stuff is on point. So because of that, we are working toward making sure that we are Trump tight on our presentation and our marketing and our brand in the coming year. So that's why we're taking this time out to make sure we got all our ducks in a row so that we can be dead on point come 2020. What is it, 2022? I don't even know what year it is. Shit, I got. Yeah, and for those who want to get their Inside Steppin' t-shirts, we have those for sale as well, which we have a website for all that stuff, but we got to tie it all together. We're going to make sure everything is in line so that we have it all easily accessible and dead on. And we, like I said, we're going to be covering the events in the coming year. So, like, for people who can't make it to an event, we will be broadcasting live from some of these events. So, boom. It's going to be a beautiful thing, y'all.
Hey, man, and just want to say shout out to you, Brian, man, for what you do for the Steppin' community, man. It's very much needed. It's so professional, and the way you put it out there, man, and it's definitely needed, man. So we just want to make sure that from on behalf of the Texas boys, we want you to know that you got continued success in what you're doing, man, and much love, man. Continued success to you.
Well, I appreciate that, brother, because those are the things that make it easier for me to keep going, because like I told you, sometimes, you get a little discouraged, but it's all good, man, because I know that's part of that comes with the territory. So it's all good. We're going to keep it rolling. So look, man, I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for coming on, and we're going to close out the show.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank the Texas boys, man. Y'all give a phenomenal event every year. I believe we'll be on up there next weekend to hang out with y'all for the Christmas party. So
all right, then.
we're looking forward to that. All right, gentlemen, y'all have a good evening.
All
All
right.
right, peace out. Bye, y'all. Good night.
So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, there it is. It has been Inside Steppin', live and in living color, 2 whole hours. Now, last but not least, this will be the last show for the year of 2021. We will come back at the beginning, very first upcoming Tuesday of 2022, and we'll be ready to rock, y'all. New feel, new look, new style. We're going to get it in. So I want everybody to have yourselves a fantastic evening. Thank you for coming and hanging out with us for these 2 hours and all this conversation. And y'all have a beautiful year, man. You know, y'all get ready for the coming year. Get your ducks in a row, shine your shoes, get your maids, get your fits made, and be ready for what's coming, because it's gonna be a beautiful thing. Don't forget them Texas boys this weekend, Dallas, Texas. Same location as they do Black and Bling, and it's gonna be a nice event, Christmas party. I think I'm gonna be there. So, with that said, man, y'all have a good night. Thank you. I love you. Look forward to 2022. Peace, y'all.